Hi guys, welcome back to the BCB podcast. I'm thrilled to be joined on the line by Tyler Denny. Tyler, me and Dan were talking earlier extensively about the incident in the fight on Saturday. First of all, we're a couple of days down the line now. What are your thoughts overall on the fight, the experience, and what happened? And where are you at? We're talking on the Tuesday night.
Um, I've had a few days to think about it and stuff, but I'm still bitterly disappointed with the outcome. But yeah, I'm kind of like getting over it now. I'm kind of coming to the realization where what's happened. I've just got to pick myself back up. Been back running and that today, so and I'm back in the gym tomorrow.
I want to jump right into the fight and take you into the round where the cut happened. Now, normally in fights, when a cut occurs, as you know, the referee tends to signal that it's a head clash or it was a punch to the judges. It appeared on TV that didn't seem to happen. Now, when it happened at the time, did Ian John Lewis say anything to yourself or to your corner about what could cause the clash of heads, how he had seen it?
No, he never mentioned anything, which is I wouldn't have been jumping up and down the way I was jumping up and down if he would have mentioned it was then clash. Do you know what I mean? So I felt a bit of an idiot afterwards because like I just the high to the low like instantly. He never mentioned a word really. So and I knew it was a punch. So when it got stopped, I just thought, yeah, I'm the winner. There was nothing else that went through my head at the time.
Now, we said in looking at the replays that the positioning of the referee obviously was. I deemed it as poor. I had to say he was, you're fighting in that particular stance. He was on the wrong side of the stance. He couldn't see. If you'd have thrown a low blow, for example, he wouldn't have been able to see it. Is it difficult? Do you have any kind of empathy for the referees in that situation when you've got two guys who are moving quickly around the ring, and particularly with your sort of style as well, to not be in the right position? Do you sort of understand?
Yeah, I emphasise with not being in the right position, but I've got no empathy with him at all. That he's not seen an egg clash and he's just made it up. Do you know what I mean? Or he's been swayed by like Peggy or whoever was in his corner shouting egg clash. Do you know what I mean? But he's obviously not seen one because there wasn't one to see, and it's so blatant. The punching and the blood pours out instantly. Do you know what I mean? All over my shoulder and on my back. So it was so obvious to me, like there's nothing else in my mind what happened. So for him to say an egg clash, like if there was an egg clash like 5 seconds before it or 5 seconds afterwards, then you'd kind of understand and you might feel for him why he's got it so badly wrong. But there was none of that. So he's just you can't just make it up to suit the agenda. You've got to either be confident in saying there was an egg clash. If you're not confident, then surely it has to be a punch because what we're doing in there is punching each other. Do you know what I mean? So unless you see otherwise, you have to go with a punch. You can't just sway towards an egg clash because their corners shouted it. It's poor, really.
Now, it seemed to take a little bit of time after the fight, obviously, to get the particular angle which showed it. It almost seemed from our side, there was almost like it was an excuse that, well, it wasn't an easy thing to see. It took us 10, 15 minutes on TV to show it. But really, all it took was the one view, wasn't it? It was very clear what it was.
If you got the right angle, it takes a matter of seconds, doesn't it, to see what happened. So, like I say, it's a bit of an excuse. And then it goes on to the judges' scorecards, and Sean Messers is just, it's mind blowing to think. I think they scored out the 7 rounds, didn't they? In the end, I thought he'd give him every round at the time, but I've looked back and he gave him 5 rounds and me 2, and it's beyond the joke. That is. I just want someone to explain how you give him them rounds. How did you give River 5 rounds? Do you know what I mean?
I got the sense after the fight that I think that you came across, you were more frustrated with the scoring than the incorrect call of the head clash. I think from what you've said there, you can understand how it's missed, and the referees shouldn't guess. They shouldn't assume that it's a head clash, but certainly the scorecards seem to really frustrate you more. Does it, when you fight like that and you get scorecards like that, does it make you think now when you go in the next time, you've got to change what you're doing? Is the effective work you were doing isn't being seen or isn't being called fair? It must be difficult when you get that particular card. I said to Dan earlier on the podcast that I think it was a competitive fight. I had you ahead. Dan had you ahead. You know, you hadn't won every round of the fight, but it was competitive.
Yeah.
But to see it so much the other way, you know, it does beg a question: what things are these judges looking at? Especially someone like Sean, who, you know, he has been around a little while. He's not a novice at this.
Yeah, he's been around a little while, and there's been a few decisions like that. Really, I don't know if he's got an agenda against BCB fighters or what, but I don't really want to go into that. But it's it's just poor, really. Like, I think I've watched it back, and I think I'll give River the first round and the third round, and you know, so to go, I think 4, 5, 6, and 7, it was like one-way traffic, really, and I was catching him with good, clean shots, and he was just hitting my gloves on the way back. Really, I mean, obviously he's hit me with some shots as well, but you know, the pressure, and he never wanted to. I think, you know, I was frustrated as well because I just knew the end was near as well, because he never wanted to be in there, man. I think this, you know, buzzing his corner was with the draw. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it was ever going the 10 rounds because he just looked knackered, and I was excelling, and he was just dying on me. So I think that's another frustration.
Were you surprised? I mean, obviously, you know, to be fair, as much as he was the home fighter, the bookmakers had you very, very close. I think he went off as like a 5-6 favourite, so it was a very close fight as far as people on the outside looking in. Certainly from the fights that I've seen you looked far more comfortable in there than you have in your other good performances. Certainly towards the latter part of the fight. Were you surprised how little he was offering, really?
Yeah, I was just surprised though. Well, he just talked a big game, really. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think he never helped himself with. He was going to knock me out, and I thought he was going to punch a lot harder than he did. I thought he'd be a lot stronger on the inside than he was. And I've seen a lot of comments he was saying about I won't be able to keep up with his engine. And it was totally the opposite. He couldn't keep up with mine. Do you know what I mean? So, and like me and Errol was laughing to each other, really, when we seen them comments, and he's got no chance of keeping up. He's not going to be as fit as you. Errol sees what I do in the gym day in, day out, and on the track and my road work. You know, he knows what I've got in the tank. So when River was saying this, Errol and Paul was having a laugh about it, really. And the plan was just go out there, see what he's got early on, apply the pressure, and they reckon he would fold like in the later rounds. And I think the plan it was going bang on, the game plan. So that's a bit frustrating on their behalf, because from what they said and what happened, it was spot on.
Now, I know yourself and the team will obviously be hurting and being very frustrated with it. Are you able, again, we're a couple of days down the line now, as I say, are you able to see the positive that it was a very good performance on national TV, where no one's coming away from that thinking the result was correct? I've not seen anyone online anywhere agree that was the right way. And do you think this will potentially put you in a better position for another large fight? The cut looked awful. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but it looked, the more I saw it, and the still images in particular, it looked a bad one. So he potentially could be out for a fair length of time. But do you think you've put yourself out there, really?
I mean, I hope so. But at the same point, you can kind of be in the who needs them club, because I've got really nothing to offer. I've got no belt. I've got, you know what I mean? I'm not signed up with a network or anything. So it's like high risk, low reward for some people. Do you know what I mean? So, and that happens in boxing quite often. Especially like I remember like Craig Cunningham, we beat a go-go, didn't he? Being a bit of an awkward southpaw. He got nothing from it. So, you know, you can have good performances, but you know, we just want, I don't know, but we're going to see what the board say about it, really, because questions have got to be asked, and we want answers. We want answers, really. And like certain things with the ref and whatever, but the judging and it's the whole package. It's shocking, really. I don't know what more you can do, and it's just disheartening.
Yeah, I've always tried to get away from the mantra of home and away fighters, because you like to think that it shouldn't really operate in that way. But I suppose the questions do seem to have to ask is, if it was the other way around, would it have been called that particular way? I guess it's one of those things that we'll never know. As I say, it was a very good performance. looking ahead, River Wilson Bent did say after the fight, and he has said post fight, that he would take the rematch, and it's something he would look to do. But we hear that a lot, and then often promoters and managers can get in the way. Do you think that he will be true to his word? Because, as you say, he will know that he really got away with one on Saturday.
Yeah, like it's all right him saying that, and he's getting all confident to get in front of the camera. But I've learned in the few days I've been around him, that's what he's like. And it's all right, like you say, when you're in the middle of a fight, it's completely different. And I think he was petrified in the last couple of rounds. He never wanted to come near me, and he was relieved. So I don't know about the rematch. And not only that, but I don't know if I want to wait for the rematch, because I ain't going to put my career on hold for what could potentially be, I don't know, how long, 6-8 months. You don't know. He could have, I could wait 5-6 months, and then he starts training, sparring, and then that opens again. Do you know what I mean? Nobody knows. It's too early to say how his eye's going to heal. So I'd always be open for that rematch, because I believe I got his number, but I'd like to do something that's going to benefit my career. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I could head towards the British or something. Felix Cash has vacated that. Udofia is mandatory. All right, Udofia, obviously I fought him before and he got the win on split decision. So maybe go down that avenue, see if we can go for that. But I really don't know. I really don't know. But I won't want to wait for him. It's going to be too long. That's the only problem.
Could be a lengthy time before we see him back in the ring. I just wanted to touch upon, just before we let you go, just your, I want to say, a sort of slight change in style. So I've seen you box many times, and you're always known, certainly within the BCB world and our world, as being a very good boxer. Seeing you sit down on your punches a lot more, was that something that you'd kind of, I say, worked on with Paul and Errol, and that being a part of your game plan? It seemed really effective, and it's something that when I watched the Essays fight and Stokes and others, you boxed and you won. You know, you boxed well. This time, you were really throwing your punches, landing shots. Was that a conscious decision, or was it simply because you felt that that River was there for the taking in this one?
I just felt like he was there for. Don't get me wrong, Paul and I were always trying to get me to sit down on the shots, and the amount of rounds I've done with Paul on the body bag, because I was thinking some nice body shots in as well, and I think it's all paying off. But he never liked the pressure. He never said he's not going to like the pressure, just apply the pressure. So I had to go a lot more aggressive, really. And I think I learned from the Reece Cartwright fight when I was trying to outbox him and he was the same sort of height. Do you know what I mean? So you live and learn, don't you? And I think this style was a lot more effective. But I think maybe against like Anastasia's style or something, that's what he'd want. So I think you got to mix it up when you can and do what's most effective for each fight. But I'd probably start. I think I never really started putting on to River till about round 4 or something. But I think I'd be on him from round 1 if we had the rematch, and I think he'd tire even earlier then.
And I just want to get your quick word on. Obviously, you know Reece Cartwright certainly very well. I think after you boxed, he's come and followed and seen you fight. Again, I want to get a fighter's perspective. What did you make of the stoppage? Did you speak to Reece afterwards, or have you done? Was he okay with it? Because to me, it looked, he got up, he met the count, he answered the questions, but the referee decided to call it off. And, again, sitting watching it at home, I thought that looked a little bit early. But what do you think, and what has Reece said to you, if anything at all?
To be fair, it's an awkward one for me because I got on with Reece and I got on with Shaq, and I spoke to both of them afterwards, and to be fair, they both think it was premature. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even Shaq says it was premature, but it's not his fault. Do you know what I mean? No. Just like it's not River's fault the way the ref or the judges have gone for. It's just, you just take what you can take. But I think Reece was okay to carry on, and it was at the end of the round as well, wasn't it? So, which made it a bit worse. Give him it's a title fight. Like, if you're not going to let someone get up and carry on, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? You may as well just call it off as soon as someone goes down. I think he was okay to carry on. Reece said he was okay to carry on, and and Shaq says he was surprised he got stopped. But you need that bit of luck sometimes. I'm not saying Shaq wasn't going to win, but Reece was definitely in the fight, wasn't he?
He was.
He was head on a lot of people's opinions as well, so he's obviously gutted.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, Saturday night's show I thought was, well, you know, with two very good fights, but unfortunately, we're kind of, the conversation has gone a little bit onto the controversies with it, and I think that, you know, the board and the referees, a lot gets raised. Whether anything changes, we'll never know. But obviously, we wish you well with the appeal and whatever the board can look at and offer. And just obviously, congratulations on a very, very good performance. And you may not have come home with the title, but you know, everyone watching on Channel 5 and everyone that's seen the fight since knows that you should have. So well done, and we look forward to seeing you back in the ring, whoever that's against, whenever that is. Yeah, we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks for that, Paul. Top man.
Cheers, Tyler. Thank you.
Cheers, Dad.